Metro-Goldwyn-Mayer, one of the most legendary names in the entertainment industry. And now, as part of MGM's 70th anniversary celebration, MGM UA Home Video is launching a new concept in home entertainment, one that gives you the latest in what's happening on home video. Hello, I'm Peter Jones, and welcome to The Lion's Roar, the official video magazine of the MGM UA Home Video Buyers Club. Just ahead, exclusive glimpses into the world of Hollywood past and present, including rare gems from Leo's private vaults. Also, special opportunities to collect MGM merchandise. But first, some inside news on one of MGM's latest productions.
Camera one ready. Camera two ready.
Background action.
Fire!
Coming to theaters May 6th, Dana Carvey of Wayne's World and Saturday Night Live stars in Clean Slate, along with Valeria Golino, Kevin Pollak, and James Earl Jones. Dana plays a cop-turned-private eye who suffers from a rare form of amnesia. He's got a big case to crack, if only he could remember what it was.
Whenever you go to sleep, you lose your memory.
Shit.
If it's not too much to ask, what'd I do?
Clean Slate. It's about a window washer who can't name. Okay, let me really try to do this. Okay, Clean Slate. It's about a guy. ML Pogue. ML Pogue is kind of like what I call the normal guy character. And the normal guy character wakes up every day, doesn't know who he is or where he is. He doesn't know how he wears his hair, doesn't know how he dresses, doesn't really even know how he speaks, doesn't know anything. His dog has a depth perception problem, and it would follow me with its eyes. And sometimes I thought I caught the dog going, I think the dog's possessed. And he has this reoccurring amnesia, so he's starting over every day. But he's kind of a character that's like this, in this dilemma, all the time, because things are just thrown at him every second throughout the film. I mean, it just went into madness, basically. The movie is always twisting and turning and folding and unfolding. What you think is real is not part of the major plot device. Everything about the movie was a little difficult, but that's sort of perfect, because everything for ML Pogue was difficult. The stress of doing the movie and the tension of doing the movie was exactly what the character was going through. So you didn't really have to stretch very far, because you're like, when you do a movie, if you're in every scene like I was, you're tired and you're stressed out and you're like nervous, and it was perfect for the character. Movies is the toughest game, you know, because you shoot without an audience, you're shooting at 7 in the morning, and you got to do all those angles, and then you wait a year for it to come out. So when it works, it's really satisfying. Our biggest problem was trying to not laugh during takes. He told us that I had to stare at his forehead, because if I caught his eye, we were done for the day. It's quite an achievement, actually, and that's essentially what it's about.
Now, you've just seen a modern-day example of how a movie is promoted. Selected film clips followed by taped interviews with the stars. The studios send out what are called electronic press kits to hundreds of television stations and news outlets around the country. But it didn't work that way in filmmaking's golden era. In those days, a single event helped to spread the word: the premiere. MGM cameras were rolling for the opening of 1938's Marie Antoinette.
Late afternoon finds the crowd still pouring in. It's the biggest show in town. Hammers ring as workmen rush to complete the job on time. A fairyland of flowers lends a fragrant note. The lovely usherettes are given a last-minute inspection. So what started as a forsaken theater a scant few hours ago will soon mushroom into a veritable whirlpool of activity. 8 o'clock, Hollywood goes to town. Lights flash, cameras click, music rings out. Action aplenty and fans, thousands of fans from all parts of the country. For this is California in summertime, the tourist season.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. About us here at the Carthay Circle is a scene of rare spectacle and color, glamour and excitement. The sky ablaze with searchlights of every hue, photographers' flashlights popping everywhere, movie cameras grinding, crowds of fans, thousands of them jammed into grandstand bleachers or surging against ropes stretched along traffic lanes, waiting to catch glimpses of their screen favorites. Soon the long-awaited moment will be at hand. The motion picture premiere, Marie Antoinette, which has been in preparation for nearly 4 years, will at last reach the screen.
The fashionable crowd begins to arrive as Judy Garland and Freddie Bartholomew sign the guest register. Una Merkel stags it. So does handsome Fernand Gravet. But not John Barrymore. That's Elaine Berry, his wife. Florence Rice, escorted by Adrian. The crowd sounds a resounding cheer for the co-stars of tonight's premiere, Norma Shearer and Tyrone Power. Happy Norma, we'll say. Under this dome, 2,000 Hollywood first-nighters pass judgment on the film city's newest big production. The clock moves on. The show is over. The lights dim down. Hollywood again has gone to town.
Marie Antoinette remains one of the most opulent historical epics ever filmed. To recreate the French palace at Versailles, 98 separate sets were constructed, and seamstresses worked overtime sewing 2,500 individually designed costumes. You can see Marie Antoinette in its original glory on MGM UA home video cassette and Laserdisc. Nominated for 4 Academy Awards, it's hard to believe Marie Antoinette did not win one. Even so, on the subject of Oscar, Leo the Lion can roar with pride.
Kill me and your mother and sister will die today. Nailed to crosses in front of you.
May God grant me vengeance. I will pray that you live till I return.
No film has ever won more Academy Awards than Ben-Hur. This year marks the 35th anniversary of the 1959 classic, and MGM UA is commemorating the event with a newly restored re-release on home video, featuring an exclusive behind-the-scenes documentary and the original theatrical trailer.
We're going to be rammed! We're going to be rammed!
Nominated for 12 Oscars and winner of 11, this epic among epics featured 300 sets, 50,000 extras, 100,000 costumes, and an intricately planned and breathtakingly executed chariot race sequence that was the most expensive 11 minutes of film moviegoers had ever seen. Having starred in numerous cowboy films, Charlton Heston knew how to handle horses. He did his own driving for all but 2 stunts in this remarkable sequence. At the time, Ben-Hur was the costliest film ever made. But unlike a lot of movies, you can see every dollar up there on the screen. It was also one of the most widely merchandised films, with hundreds of licenses issued for official Ben-Hur toys and memorabilia. Among the more unique items, a set of towels labeled Ben-His and Ben-Hers.
After all these years, still close.
Want me to film? Burst to earth.
Following Ben-Hur is the most celebrated film in Oscar history is the Shakespeare and Switchblade musical classic, West Side Story. And now available for the first time ever on video cassette in a beautiful letterbox version. A 1950s update of Romeo and Juliet, West Side Story was a smash on Broadway before co-directors Robert Wise and Jerome Robbins turned it into a 10-time Oscar winner. They were helped by a handful of brilliant performances, most notably Natalie Wood as Maria, a Puerto Rican in New York who falls in love with a boy from the wrong side of town.
The Jets are coming out on top tonight. We're gonna watch Bernardo drop tonight. That Puerto Rican punk'll go down, and when he's hollered uncle, we'll tear up the town.
We'll be in back of you, boy. Right. You're gonna flatten him good. Right.
Tonight there will be no morning star.
rockin' tonight. We're gonna jazz it tonight. We're gonna dance tonight.
We're gonna mix it tonight.
Day, the minutes seem like hours. The hours go so slow.
They will stop them once and for all. The sharks are gonna have their way. The sharks are gonna have their way. We're gonna rock it tonight.
Toward the end of filming West Side Story, the cast and crew were putting in 18-hour days, 6 days a week. Hoping for some time off, a very weary Natalie Wood came up with a scheme to prove she was sick. Complaining of a fever, she retired to her dressing room, summoning the studio doctor. When the doctor wasn't looking, Natalie slipped the thermometer into a glass of warm water. Unfortunately for her, the water had cooled faster than she expected. Her 104-degree fever was a near-normal 98.8. Natalie went back to work.
Get your hands off, American! Stay away from my sister!
Please let me stay.
I want to be alone.
Grand Hotel. Always the same. People come, people go. Nothing ever happens.
It was no overstatement when MGM publicists touted 1932's Grand Hotel as having the greatest cast in stage or screen history. Stars included Greta Garbo, John Barrymore, Joan Crawford, Lionel Barrymore, and Wallace Beery.
Wouldn't you like to call me by the first name?
No, I couldn't do that.
Why not?
Oh, I don't know. One can't get intimate just offhand. I could go to England with you and all that, but... You know, I always say that nothing should be left hanging over. And names are like that. Supposing I met you next year and I said, "How do you do, Mr. Price?" And you said, "That's the young lady who was my secretary in Manchester." That's all quite proper, but... Supposing I saw you and yelled, "Hi, baby. Remember Manchester?" Yeah. Mm-hmm. And you were with your wife. How would you like that?
We will leave my wife out of this function, please.
Sorry.
Although Garbo received top billing, many thought Lionel Barrymore stole the show. While many actors like to build their performance in a scene over several takes, Lionel Barrymore's first take was often his best. He'd lose steam after several redos. Grand Hotel director Edmund Goulding had little choice but to go with Barrymore's superior initial performance, leaving the improved efforts of other actors out of the film.
You're probably an embezzler.
An embezzler?
Yes, an embezzler. He's an embezzler.
You're going to take that back, right here in the presence of this young lady. Who do you think you're talking to? You think I'm dirt? Well, if I'm dirt, you're a lot dirtier, Mr. Industrial Magnet Pricing.
You're discharged. Get out.
You can't do that to him.
No, I don't know the man. I don't know what he wants. I never saw him before.
I know you. I've kept your books for you, and I know all about you. If one of your employees was half as stupid in a small way as you are in a big one... What are you...
Grand Hotel won for MGM its second Best Picture Academy Award and gave to Greta Garbo her best remembered line.
I just want to be alone.
In a role originally written for Sally Field, Cher turned in an Oscar-winning performance as a Brooklyn widow who finds love with her fiancé's brother, played by Nicolas Cage. The film, John Patrick Shanley's modern classic, Moonstruck.
Wait a minute! What are you doing? Where are you taking me?
To the bed.
Oh, God. Okay, I don't care. Take me to the bed. I don't care about anything.
Everyone associated with Moonstruck knew they had an exceptional script, And director Norman Jewison and writer Shanley agreed no changes would be made to the dialogue, with the exception of one memorable line ad-libbed by Olympia Dukakis.
You got a love bite on your neck. He's coming back this morning. What's the matter with you? Your life's going down the toilet.
Are you afraid somebody will take me for one of those girls from Gallatin Street?
Julie.
Oh, I'm sorry. I forgot I'm a child. I'm not supposed to know about things like Gallatin Street. I'm just supposed to flutter around in white.
An inspired ad campaign once exclaimed, "Nobody's as good as Betty Davis when she's bad." And in Jezebel, many thought Betty was at her wicked best, playing the role of a tempestuous, convention-defying Southern belle in pre-Civil War New Orleans.
Press, I'm kneeling to you.
Julie, don't.
To ask you to forgive me and love me as I love you.
Julie, please. Julie, this is Amy, my wife.
Your wife? And your, may I say, Julie?
The role came to Davis when she lost her bid to become Gone with the Wind's Scarlett O'Hara. But she proved she, too, could play a daughter of old Dixie, winning her second Academy Award.
Amy, you must let me go with him. Tell me. What does it matter who he loves? It's his life that matters. Tell me. We both know. Press loves his wife. Who else would he love? Not me, surely. I've done too much against him.
Jezebel came out in 1938, a year before Gone with the Wind. The film's Civil War Southern setting did not escape Gone with the Wind producer David O. Selznick. He accused studio chief Jack Warner of attempting to undermine his epic production. Well, history tells us, if anything, Jezebel only helped to increase the public's appetite for the 1939 film many say is the greatest ever. Here's a special glimpse into how this towering achievement came to be.
$150 in gold.
For what lady, sir?
For Mrs. Charles Hamilton.
Here's news for which you've been waiting. Names of the winners in our Scarlett O'Hara contest. First, here are the names of the 6 actresses who received the largest number of votes for the role. Betty Davis first, Katharine Hepburn second, Miriam Hopkins third, Margaret Sullivan fourth, Joan Crawford fifth, and Barbara Stanwyck sixth.
Casting the picture became a national obsession. Vogue magazine made a composite image of the ideal Scarlett from photos of the leading contenders. Letters poured in from the public. 121 actresses were recommended in these letters. Crazy suggestions, some of them, some intriguing. Zazu Pitts, Mae West, Clara Bow, Lucille Ball. There was even one gentleman from New Zealand who recommended Vivian Lee. In November 1936, Kay Brown set out on the first of 3 long talent searches through the South.
On Friday, we held open auditions in Atlanta, and there were at least 500 people there. We saw every Miss Atlanta for 20 years back.
In the meantime, in Hollywood, many, many women of some stature also saw themselves as Scarlett.
Tallulah Bankhead was the first of the 32 actresses who did screen tests for the part.
What is it?
I love you. I'm in love with you, Ashley. I love you. I love you. I love you.
David Selznick was a publicity genius.
I love you.
He knew the search for Scarlett would be a grand entertainment and a way of keeping public interest alive in a film which as yet he had neither the money, the script, nor the nerve to make.
I'm in love with you, Ashley.
So if he couldn't find a Scarlett, what about Rhett?
The punchline of Gone with the Wind, the one bit of dialogue which forever establishes the future relationship between Scarlett and Rhett is, Frankly, my dear, I don't give a damn. Joe Breen is unable to give me permission to use this sentence because it contains the word damn. It is my contention that this word as used in the picture is not an oath or a curse. The most that can be said against it is that it is a vulgarism, and it is so described in the Oxford English Dictionary.
Frankly, my dear,
I just don't care. Selznick tried several alternatives, but nothing matched the original line of the book. He enlisted the support of most of the big guns of Hollywood, but only after a long and bitter struggle was he granted permission to use that word.
Gone with the Wind is probably the most famous film available from MGM UA Home Video. But it's also one of the few movies released by MGM that didn't bear the familiar MGM Lion logo. Now, that's because it was made independently by producer David O. Selznick. But L.B. Mayer, Selznick's father-in-law at the time, drove a hard bargain. In order to secure the services of MGM contract player Clark Gable for the crucial role of Rhett Butler, Selznick had to agree to release the film through MGM.
This is one night you're not turning me out.
Today, the MGM Lion still means great entertainment, and joining the MGM UA Home Video Buyers Club can certainly have its advantages. As a member, you're eligible to purchase these fabulous t-shirts and caps, all bearing the world-famous MGM logo. To make these collectible items your own, just fill out the MGM UA merchandise order form included with your cassette and send it with your payment to the address shown on the form. While officially MGM stands for Metro-Goldwyn-Mayer, we like to think it also stands for Movies, Great Movies. And a lot of those great movies offer a blend of love and laughter that makes them perfect for a little romantic home entertainment.
I know you think I'm terrible because you're the type of man who likes to learn, work. But I can't help it. I just can't go on like this anymore. Huh? I'm tired. I don't want to work anymore. I don't care what Daddy says. I want to have fun and laughs and romance.
Hey, that's wonderful. That's just wonderful.
Before quintessential girl watcher Dobie Gillis was introduced to TV audiences as a high school student, he went to college in 1953's spirited musical, The Affairs of Dobie Gillis. Here, Dobie is played by Bobby Van, who falls in love with MGM leading lady, Debbie Reynolds. And in his acting debut, the man who would become one of Broadway's most imaginative choreographers and an Academy Award-winning director, Bob Fosse.
Colin? I knew you'd say that. Shall I show you, Colin? Shall I advise you? Women like to be dominated.
Keep your advice to yourself.
Another hidden treasure you'll find only on home video is the young but familiar face of the Phantom of the Opera's Michael Crawford in the 60s romp The Knack and How to Get It.
A man can develop the knack.
A man can develop the knack.
A man can develop the knack.
That last one had very nice earlobes.
Earlobes? Oh.
Decades before MTV, British director Richard Lester pioneered shooting and editing styles that would reappear in rock videos. This rediscovered gem is part of MGM's International Directors Collection, which presents the works of filmmakers whose names are inseparable from their movies: Fellini, Truffaut, Bergman. In addition to their genius, those three directors shared a love for the American films of the 1930s. Movies changed dramatically in that decade, advancing from awkward talkies
Well, I'd have to think about that.
to polished classics like Gone with the Wind and The Wizard of Oz. In our Screen Masterpieces series, you'll find movies that reflected the times, set the trends, and showcased the players who gave MGM Studios more stars than there are in the heavens.
Evelyn, what is the matter with you? Amy, that girl didn't shoot him. I did. I went to his apartment this afternoon. He struck me and I shot him. I killed him. Evelyn.
And tell the doctor. Now, here's your medicine, dear. This will fix you up.
William Powell and Myrna Loy portray a married couple divided by career and perhaps murder in the sophisticated melodrama Evelyn Prentice. This rediscovered classic followed their triumphant pairing in The Thin Man.
There's another woman involved. A woman who may possibly have been clever enough to have killed Kennard in his own apartment with his own gun without leaving a clue. We've got to find that woman. Apparently, he had no qualms about allowing the ladies to help him out every now and then, financially. Now, if a man like that were to get a married woman in the right spot, especially the wife of a prominent man, he'd probably make it very difficult for her.
Powell and Lloyd were the champagne set of the romantic screen couples, but their pairing almost never happened. Louis B. Mayer was convinced both actors were ill-suited for lighter roles. After all, they had played shadowy, somber characters in silent films and early talkies. But director Woody Van Dyke noticed their easy banter between takes on the set of another film he was directing, Manhattan Melodrama.
This is your corner.
Wait a minute,
outside.
Listen, I'm Eleanor.
That's my favorite name.
I know,
outside.
but Blackie sent me.
Blackie? Oh, I'm so sorry.
Well, nothing like a district attorney to keep a girl in shape. You and I must have a good wrestle someday.
He knew they'd be perfect for The Thin Man. Mayer resisted the idea until Van Dyke promised he'd shoot the movie in just 3 weeks. The director, whose filming efficiency earned him the nickname One Take Woody, shot The Thin Man in 12 days.
Well, I hope you're satisfied.
Award-winning classics. Screen masterpieces. The International Directors Series. Comedies filled with love and laughter. To learn more about future editions of the Lion's Roar video magazine and get the inside scoop on the stars, movies, and legacy of MGM UA, join the MGM UA Home Video Buyers Club. Members will also receive sneak previews of upcoming theatrical releases, as well as exciting MGM logo merchandise offers. Look inside specially marked MGM UA videos for details. Finally, if you have a favorite MGM UA film you'd like to see featured on the Lion's Roar video magazine, please write to us at the address which is about to appear on your screen. Until next time, I'm Peter Jones.